Hello everyone, I'm Josh Bond and I'm the course developer, and I'm going to walk you through installing Python and then later PyCharm. Now Python is the language that we use in this course. When you get to the Python webpage here, it might show a different version of Python because what's shown here happens to be the latest version for Windows. If you're running Mac, you'll click here, or Linux, you'll click over here. In this case, we're going to click the button here, and you will too, no matter what it says. If it says a different version, that's okay. I'm going to click it, and it's going to ask me to save it. Now, on your screen, it may not ask you to save it, depending on what browser you're using and what configuration you have. In my case, it downloads down here, and it will either automatically run for you, or you'll have to come down here and click Open. This may look slightly different on Firefox or Edge, and that's okay. You'll have to pick what you downloaded and then click Open or Run, as the case may be, depending on the browser. Unless it automatically runs for you, either way, you'll get to a point like this, and you're going to click Run to install the file. Now, here I recommend clicking Install Now, not using the customization. This is easier and simpler, and it does everything we need. We have to give it permissions, so you'll click Yes. And then we're going to let it install. Now, after we get done installing Python, we're going to close this window out, and then we're going to go over and download and install PyCharm, which is the code editor that we'll use to write our source code this semester. And when this finishes, this will be it for Python. We click Close, and we're done with the installation of Python. Now, PyCharm, we're going to choose the community version because it's simpler and easier to install. We're going to click Download, and then it's going to start to download. We'll click Save, and it'll download down here just like before. It may look slightly different on your screen. PyCharm is what lets us edit source code, kind of like Microsoft Word lets you edit a word processing document. This will be the editor for our source code. We don't actually have to have it. It just makes writing source code a lot easier. When this is done, we're going to click Open. It may automatically run for you. Either way, you'll see a screen like this, and you're going to click Run to run the installation. And we have to give it permission, so we'll click Yes. And we click Next to continue. And I recommend leaving the default installation alone, so again, we'll click Next. And I recommend clicking right here to associate the file extension .py with PyCharm, because the Python source code files we're going to create this semester will end in .py, which stands for Python. It's what indicates to the operating system that this is a Python file. That way, if you double click on a Python file, it'll take you into PyCharm automatically instead of doing something confusing like running it from the command prompt or something else. We want Python files to load in PyCharm because that's why we're installing it. We're going to click Next, and then we're going to click Install, and it'll install. Now, when this is done, we'll be able to run PyCharm for the first time. It may take longer than normal the first time that you run PyCharm. It has to do a lot of initialization and configuration. It shouldn't take that long to run every time after that. When we're done, we're going to click Run, and we're going to click Finish. And in a few moments, after it initializes and configures everything, PyCharm will load. And we see the PyCharm 2019. I recommend do not import settings and click OK. And here we're asked to choose. Do you want the light version or the darker version? This is purely preference. It has no functional difference. Some people think that staring into a bright screen for hours at a time is bad on your eyes, and I would happen to agree with that. This is easier on my eyes, so I choose Darkula. You choose whichever you like. We're going to click Next, and then we're going to start using PyCharm. And then we're going to create a new project. In this case, I'm going to type Hello World here. You can type whatever you would like, maybe assignment 1 if you're working on assignment 1, maybe just a test or a hello world project like this. So then we click create, and this creates a shell for us to place our files in, our source code files that we write. Now it's going to create a virtual environment, and then we're going to uncheck this box so this tip box does not show up in the future. I like to uncheck that box and then click close. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new Python file. We're going to come to File, click New, and then we're going to choose Python file. Not Scratch file, but Python file. And we're going to type in a name. In this case, let's just call it test.py. We put the py extension on the file name because it is a Python file. And then we press Enter. And we've created our first Python file. Now, this Python file is underneath the Hello World project. This is an overarching folder that holds our Python file in this case. So we're going to type print, and we can type in Hello World. And this will run our first Python program, which prints Hello World to the console. So if we click Run, like this, it'll ask us which file. We'll say the test configuration, and then it prints it to the screen down here. This is called the console. This is the result of this running. So when this runs, whatever code is here, it appears here in this box. Now, one thing that may be easier for you is to go to File and click Settings. And if we go to Editor, we can choose Font. And we can blow this up a little larger. We can move this over. We can click Apply. And notice how everything is a little larger. Maybe you would like to see it even larger still. And we can click OK. And another important thing that you'll want to learn is if we hover over the file name, we can see the path or the location in Windows where this file actually is. Now, if we right click it, we can choose Copy Path right here, Copy Path. And then if we go to File Explorer, we can run File Explorer and we can paste in the path. I'm going to take off the file name and just have the directory show up. And we see, if we back out just one, this is the Hello World project that we made. It's actually a folder or directory in Windows. It's the same thing in Mac and Linux. And when we enter it, we'll see the file that we created. This will be the file that you submit in eLearn that has your source code. Or maybe assignment 1 and all the assignments in the semester. You'll create a project and a file each time, and you'll submit the file right here. And I just showed you how to get to it, the path name, so that you can upload it in Dropbox.